Okay, first of all, I mean, as far as myself, I've been a vegan since 1987. I don't eat any animal products, and I think that has helped me a lot. As far as all the way throughout the year, it's something that we should do as a preventative, not as you just mentioned earlier, not a curative, not waiting till we have a situation, running to the hospital or trying to deal with it, but just preparing yourself. And so by being a vegan, not consuming the meats, and then there are some herbs that I actually take that help with the immune system. And for those of you know, my kind of my specialty is cold, sinus, flus, and respiratory. And so the particular herbs that I deal with for my immune system will be herbs that we're familiar with, sort of like echinacea and the golden seal, elderberry, astragalus. Those are some of your immune herbs. But also there's deep lung herbs like colt's foot and pleurisy and fenugreek, licorice, marshmallow root. Those are things that will be natural ways of cleaning up our lungs. Then, in this particular situation right now, we should also look at parasite herbs as well, because a lot of times when you're dealing with this type of issue, you have parasites, and parasites love sugar, and many of us love sugar too. And
Right.
so there are herbs like black walnut, wormwood, and cloves, which not only help destroy parasites, but their eggs as well. And so those are things that we should be doing. Water. We as a brother mentioned earlier, you got to stay hydrated. You got to drink water. You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces of water. And as the brother that earlier talked about, as far as cardiovascular exercise is part of it as well. And then the last thing I would say would be stress, dealing with stress, and that's getting you enough sleep. And I know a lot of us right now, since we're not at work, some of us, we're getting a lot more sleep. So that's something that is important for staying well. And so those are the things that I would use for my serum. I just have to caution at throwing a drug or a vaccine at every issue that we have, and that's where I see things going. And I'm really concerned about that. And I know you spoke of the growing numbers of African Americans throughout the United States, and I think we should also look at take a note from history and see how this has happened with the AIDS epidemic, where the growing numbers had a lot to do with the concentration of testing, and so there's a documentary called House of Numbers. I think would really go into that we have to look back at and see, because it's the same thing that's happening right now with COVID-19. And remember, you don't have to have a confirmed test to be labeled COVID-19
Right.
as a diagnosis or as the death certificate. And that's the direction coming straight from the guidelines from the CDC. So if someone diagnoses you with that, you really want to look at everything on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.